and welcome to 5 Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of solving graphs. This is 7.6G Readiness Practice, the intermediate version. If you're interested in exploring the 7.6G Readiness Practice for the proficient or advanced versions, or the Readiness Practice resource along with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description. So we have a bar graph here, and it shows the number of pets owned by students in Ms. Davis's class. And so we need to assume that all of the pets in the other category are reptiles. So let's say those are reptiles. We're looking for what percentage of the pets are mammals. All right, so we need to know a little bit about science, right? Mammals are warm-blooded. They give birth to live young. The mothers feed milk to their children. So mammals, I'm just going to put an M right there for a dog. M right there for cat, not for fish. Okay, so I'm just going to put an X on that. That is not a mammal. Neither are reptiles. Hamster, yes. Okay, so we've got 3 sets of mammals. And let's see. So I've got 12, I've got 8, and I've got 2. So 12, 8, and 2 is going to be 22 over what's my total? Well, let's see. This is 5, and this is 3. So 5 and 3 make 8. So almost all of them, 22 out of 30. Okay, so I'm going to just label right here, 22 mammals over the 30 pets. But the answer is not 22 over 30. What percentage? All right, so we need to turn this into a percent. So there are a few different options, right? We can try to get the denominator into 10, 100, or 1,000. And so yeah, we could do that. So let's try that. Let's divide this by 3. I know 22 doesn't divide by 3, but if we do that, we're going to end up getting a denominator of 10. So let's see what happens if we do 22 divided by 3. That's going to be 7, 21, and that's going to be 7.3 repeating, right? Because it's just going to be 9, and again, all over the place, right? Just do it again and again and again. All right, so this is 7.3 repeating over 10. Now, how does that help us? Well, percent is per 100. So if I multiply this by 10, this is going to be per 100, right? That means the decimal gets moved over. So 73.3 repeating out of 100. So 73.3 repeating percent, or probably a better way to do it would be to do 73, and that 0.3 repeating we can represent with 1/3%. Either one of these are fine, but a little bit more than 73% of the pets in Ms. Davis's class are mammals. We have a dot plot here, and it shows the number of books read by each student in the book club last month. What percentage of students read at least 3? Okay, at least 3. So greater than or equal to 3. Right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just looking at these 4. There's nothing on 0, there's nothing on 5. So they're included, but they're really not part of the data set because there's no dots above them. So it's going to be 4, and I'm including the 3 above 3 because that's at least 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this one's much easier. Look at this. So 4 have 3 or more. There are 10 total because it's the 4 plus 6. So that's going to be a percent, right? So I need to make this out of 100. So let's multiply by tens, and that's going to get me 40 out of 100, which is 40%. That one was pretty simple. Let's look at our third one here. Now we have a circle graph. We have favorite school subjects. We've got math, science, English, and history. And this represents 20 students. So all of this is 20 students. We need to find how many students chose English. Well, you notice English doesn't have the percent. All right, well, let's do a little calculation. So we've got 50% right here. If you look at this, 25 and 25, that's 50. If I add my 30, that's 80. So this plus this plus this equals 80%. Well, 100% is the whole thing, which means English needs to be 20% because that's just what's left over, right? And so now we know English is 20%, but it's not asking me what the percent of students is. It's asking me how many students that actually is. So what is 20% of 20? That's really what I'm looking for. Okay, so 20% of 20. Now, got a few options here, right? We can do set up a proportion. We can change the percent into a decimal. Let me show you how both of those work, right? You can even use ratios, means, and extremes. So let's set it up as proportion, right? So 20 out of 100 students, that's the 20%, equals 20 is my total, 20 out of an unknown amount of students, right? And then we can use cross multiplication. So we can say 100x equals 400. Divide both sides by 100. X equals 4. So it looks like I've got 4 students. Now, we also could have done this. We also could have changed my percent into a decimal. So 20% equals 1, 2, move it over twice, 0.2. If we multiply that by 20, look what we get, 0. Looks like we get a 40, but we bring that decimal down right here, and we also get 4. So you can multiply by the decimal equivalent of that percent. You can use a proportion. Either way, our answer here is 4. Let me put a green box around it here. There are 4 students that chose English as their favorite subject. If you are interested in exploring the 7.6G readiness practice for the proficient or the advanced version, or the readiness practice resource along with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description.